Hey all, Jake's Garage, coming at you from the frigid Pennsylvania wilderness here. Um, that says 44 degrees, and I've had a heater running now for well over an hour. So it was about 37 when I started. I'd say the heater's doing a pretty good job, um, but it's cold. So still got to get some work done on the Suburban. I'm so close. I can taste it. I can feel the snowy donuts that are going to happen once this thing gets running. Tonight I want to just go over my cooling fan setup, or I guess maybe my whole cooling system. I elected to. I'll try to make this quick. I elected to keep the truck water pump with the water outlet coming out over there instead of going with the Camaro pump. I just didn't feel like spending the money. I don't really care if the hose does what it's doing. So it is what it is. I'm running the upper and lower radiator hoses off of, I believe, like a mid 2000s 2500 HD pickup. They seem to fit well. The bottom hose is just kind of like a zigzaggy deal, and I probably could have found a better fitting one, but it's going to fit fine. I'm not running any transmission cooling through this. I have a stacked plate style derail cooler, which should be enough to handle the trans, but if I see trans temperatures going up, I will solve that problem. The radiator is it's a 433-730 from Advanced Auto. It's the big block 454 radiator. It's the same as the CU 730 from Spectre, as far as I can tell. From LMC, I got the 4 rubber isolators, and I also got their big block upper radiator mount, which is a beautiful piece. It fit right in, no problem. On the steam, I think I might have gone over this in another video. The steam outlet, I'm basically going to use and I'm going to change this. You see how I have it, the hose going this way, and then this turning. What I'm going to do is just have basically a bushing. I'm going to use just a straight piece of the 3/4 inch hose so that it comes out to about here and then makes a 90. And then I'm going to kind of secure it to the fan shroud where my steam line will hook up to. So that's a 3/4 barb to 3/4 MPT 90-degree elbow, and a 3/4 female MPT to 1/4 inch barb fitting. Very simple, should work perfect. As for the fan setup, I was going to use the mechanical fan, but then I decided not to. So what I'm going to use is this is an aluminum fan shroud from Tejas. I really should, next time I talk to the guy on the phone, Scotty, ask him how the heck to pronounce his company, because I feel like I'm butchering it. I'm doing him a disservice. The shroud, when I first got it, I was like, man, that's it. But the more I look at it, it really is a beautiful piece. It's not something I could have easily made myself and have it fit as well as it does. Mainly, it's this bottom part that fits so nicely. It's got these little tabs that kind of kick back, and that's what interfaces with your original lower fan shroud mounts. Up top utilizes all 3 mounts from the big block radiator mount, and I had these cut for LT1 fans. Now they don't come drilled, so we're going to do that tonight. So that's the fan shroud, excuse me. I'm going to put that to the side, and for fans, this is what I'm using for fans. This is a good old 93 to 97 F-body LT1 dual fan setup. I found this on the forums. So used to looking on Facebook Marketplace for everything, and I wasn't able to find these things, and they're getting harder and harder to find. I found a very clean set, even though they look kind of dingy. They're very clean. They're just dirty. They power on. They move so much air. These things put out a ton of air. So we're going to be putting these onto that shroud. And the plan is basically I'm going to just take some video. I'm going to try not to talk too much. I'm going to zip these out. I'm going to use, for my connection points, for instance, when I say connection points, I mean the 4 bolts that hold each fan on, as well as the 3 bolts across the top. I'm going to be using nut certs. And looking at what I have left in my bag, I'm going to be using stainless steel nut certs, M6x1 nut certs. I'm going to use my Astro nut cert tool. I'm going to need a 3/8 drill bit to make the holes for the M6 nut certs. And for hardware, I'm not going to get fancy with the hardware. I could have went, and I might someday, maybe I'll replace them, but all I'm going to use is a bunch of these factory style bolts that I got from, I grab them whenever I go to the junkyard and I take something apart. I throw these bolts in my bucket. They're M6 by 1, and they have a locked in washer, like as in the washer doesn't come off, but it does spin. Makes for a nice fitting, especially when you're screwing plastic. It's essentially what's already on here. These have that same loose washer, and it just helps the plastic not to break. I'm not worried about using lock washers or anything like that. I'm just going to tighten them up just like these are, and we're going to get going. So without further ado, let's go. You're going to see me take these apart. You're going to see me drill those. You're going to see me put everything together, and then I'll try to get some footage of me stuffing it in the Suburban, because once that's in there, I can hook all my hoses up, and I can get ready to fill that thing with coolant, and I'm one step closer to driving. So here we go. One thing I do need to mention before I get to the non-talking part of this, I believe I read the instructions. Yep. So there's locating tabs for the stock shroud here. You can see them. They're little 1/8 inch by maybe 1/2 inch little tabs. You got to cut those off. I believe there's 2 of them. 1, 2, and that's so that you can, looks like they're not even 180 degrees apart. I guess that's so you can only get this in one way. Now, I'm pretty sure that when I install this, the plugs will be facing down. I can tell by the way these mounts, this shroud is meant to slide onto a front of a radiator assembly. So I'm gonna orient them the same way. Once I get these off, I'm going to give them a quick cleanup, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim those tabs off. Okay, all done. Let's get the shroud up here. Start marking some holes. I was really hoping I could just do this up on the blocks like that. It's going to be hard to do. I'm really scared of messing this shroud up. It's so nice. Okay, let's see how they fit. Okay, they fit in there with some room to spare. So that's okay. No problem. Okay. Pop these off. Put them somewhere safe. Harm. Okay. Now I have to go ahead and drill. I think I am going to do a countersink, or not a countersink, a pilot hole. Oh, that is much better. There we go. Some leftover MDF pieces. A little bit of a kick at the end there, but not so bad. I was worried that it was going to get in there and try to twist the piece away or something. Tell you what, we're going to try it. We're going to try it on one. see how it works before I go ruining the whole thing. Does that sound like a smart plan? I feel like it's a smart plan. Alright, here goes nothing. Okay. Not too bad. We're gonna go ahead and just drill the rest. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off. This might be satisfying to some of you. Trying to keep this on as long as possible while I was cutting and drilling and all that, but I don't think there's much chance for the nut certs to cause much damage. Okay, this is the most frustrating thing I've ever had to do. If anything's going to damage this shroud, it's peeling this stuff off. It's bending the whole thing. What's done is done. So this, I'm done with this. These I'm done with for now. Put this back like that. And let's get some bolts, bolt this in. Passenger, driver. Cleanest ones up top, so it looks like I got all new bolts, right? That's smart. We have it. There is the LT1 fan, Tejas Shroud, nut certs, ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this in the truck. All right, here we go. Here goes nothing. Trying not to destroy my fan or my radiator. Okay, now I'm going to need a little bit of a balancing act, I think, to get this screw started while I hold this all up. The shroud fits under the upper radiator mount. Like so. Get one started, now it'll stay. Throw the other two in. That just loose because I gotta get the bottom lined up. Sounded like something fell. Okay, so the bottom mounts are tight. We're gonna just go ahead and tighten up the top ones, and this shroud will be installed. Overall, I really like the fit. There's tons of clearance. And there goes my socket. There's tons of clearance up here. It looks fantastic. Everything fit just like I expected it to. I mean, and it's so easy to remove the fans now. If I need to replace one or fix one, I just can zip out those 4 bolts because I use the nut certs. Because I use the nut certs, they're not to worry about. So I do like those. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a wrench on the bolts for the fan shroud because I didn't actually tighten these up all the way. Or at all. So it may seem. I actually thought the radiator was coming back out because I was going to change it for the Spectra one, which I ordered from Amazon. But when the Spectra one came in, it kind of sucked. It was in bad shape. So let me give you a close-up here. So here's a close-up of the setup. I love it. It's perfect. It's clear of everything. The hose fits in there, is going to fit nice. Can't really see it from this side too much, but it's perfect. It looks so much better than the manual fan or the mechanical fan. And it'll be quieter, free up a couple horsepower. Good to go. So that's it for the fan shroud install. If you have any questions, let me know. That was pretty easy. I wasn't expecting to have to drill the holes for the fans since you specify which fans you're using, but it wasn't a big deal. And honestly, since I was using nut certs, it gave me the option to drill whatever size hole I needed for whatever size hardware I was going to use. And again, in my case, that was M6 because I had that laying around for hardware. So that's it. Tried to make this one short. Leave a comment, leave a like. Go check out Scotty. I'll put a link to the website for his products down below. Again, I got the motor mounts from him. I got the fan shroud from him. That was really all I could buy. He sells a PCM mount. I'm doing something different with my PCM. He sells a pedal mount for the Camaro that fits into the square body. Again, I'm using the van pedal. I made my own mount. And I think he sells a couple other odds and ends too, but go check him out. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.